All right, so we should be live. Welcome to Create World GPT AI agents. This video is going to be fantastic for those who want to monetize and use GPTs and AI agents to create projects and scale them and create earning out of them. So there was a part one of this. You can go and check it out in the video sections in the YouTube channel. This is going to be part two. We're going to create another one. And then we're going to just try to understand how all this mechanism works. So amazing for beginners and a great opportunity. So what you're gonna do is we're gonna own GPT powered chatbot for packs. Since you don't want to pay for OpenAI tokens, right? Now there's one thing that we could pay the tokens or not. Um, OpenAI tokens. Let's see how much is the price right now. So for now, the GPT-5 model has an input of $1 per 1 million tokens and cashed input. So it kind of scales up with the passage of more and more use cases. But then you can see over here um, other cases here, which is like 4.1 mini, 4.1, and other ones. So they're all priced out, right? So one other thing is like, open source ones, but we'll make this chat bot a prompt builder for ChatGPT instead of a direct API bot. So it's just kind of like a prompt builder. So you can just like copy this and put it on that. Of course, if you want to scale it, then you can use the OpenAIs. But first of all, first what we'll do is basically go ahead and let you upload your facts or type them in. Let you type a customer's question, generate prompt for ChatGPT says you are a customer support bot for this based on the following facts, answer this question. And then copy paste the prompt into free ChatGPT for the answer. So the thing that would be required is first of all, let's go ahead and go into our projects folder. So I'm gonna go to the, let's say, projects folder. So it's in the documents actually. So C colon documents. No. So I'm just going to go to File Explorer actually. And then there's going to be a projects folder, should be over here, downloads. So it's basically in the documents, projects, and over here I can just type in, what do I call this? I'll call this AI agent facts. Okay. Now over here, what we're going to do is we're going to open up it. We can use a Visual Studio Code. So open with, so you can just do CMD and code and dot. One new thing I learned was you can also say, I think it's called git bash, and that opens, I don't know, it opened and then it stopped or something, but that didn't work out. So what we have here is build with agent mode. We'll close that out, and we'll just open up this. This is our nice fresh slate of our VS Code. And then what we're going to do is we go ahead and we pip install Streamlit. So you can go ahead and open up a terminal, control and backtick, and just type in pip install Streamlit. It's already satisfied, so it's going to do that. It's asking to upgrade your pip because my 24.0 is older, so I could just use this command to upgrade, and that should update my pip as well to 25.2. So yeah, uninstall the old one and then install the new one. Convenient. So now that we have is the code. Now this is a fac.chatbot.py. So fac underscore chatbot.py. Inside of this, what we can do is we can use the source code, which is provided here, right? So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to explain it line by line. So over here, what we can do is word wrap, file, or view. And then we have word wrap. Okay. So what you can see over here is, let's see. First of all, we have import Streamlit as st, set page config, and then we have title, fact, chatbot, prompt builder. Page icon is just like this, and then the layout is centered. The title, again, for the page would be fact, chatbot, prompt builder, free version, and then we have upload your facts or paste them below, then enter a question to generate a prompt for ChatGPT. Now, business name, you could put in your business name and my company. Now, fact text would be like paste your facts here, height, 200 placeholder. What are your business hours? We're open 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. All of that, you can just put them in here. Customer question, what time do you open on Saturdays? If it's like already mentioned here, right? And then it would say if st.button generate prompt for ChatGPT, and then it would strip the text, which was from here, and question user question dot strip, right? And then it says you prompt would be you are a customer support assistant for this business. Here are the facts. Please enter this customer question based on only on the facts above. And then it says prompt generated, paste and copy into the ChatGPT. Please fill out both the facts and the question, and then we have paste the generated prompt into free ChatGPT at chat.openai.com. Okay, that's cool. Run the app, and then we have this command to run the app. I'm gonna go ahead and backtick here, and let's see. Okay, so we'll go back here into this thing. We'll copy this, and we'll Streamlit run fact chat GPT. And over here, you can see over here, um, fact chatbot prompt builder free version. Upload your facts. I'll paste them. Okay, my company, whatever you want. Let's say Code Crusher. And for those who don't know what Code Crusher is, I would recommend checking that out. It's my agency. So I provide custom software solutions to any kind of application or any kind of need, business need. So if you need anything built, I would recommend giving me a book consultation free. I provide one consultation, and then we can discuss about your project. If you have any particular budget or timeline, we'll discuss all the things, and then hopefully we can work together to build your project into something amazing. Okay, so over here, paste your facts here. So what are your business hours? We are open 9 to 5. Uh, so suppose, and then we could, provide a question and an answer, and then the customer question. Okay, so let's see. What if we just copy this thing? So what are your business hours? Okay, and then we say we are open. So question, and then what are your business hours, right? And then the answer is this thing, which is over here, this one. Copy this, and then paste to here. Um, and then what time do you open on Saturdays? Okay, now let's see, generate prompt for ChatGPT. Okay, so prompt generated, and then you can see what are you are a customer support assistant for Code Crusher. Okay, here are the facts. What are your business hours? And then the answer is we are open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Please answer this customer question based on the facts above. So, what time do you open on Saturdays? So, exactly if I just copy this and, a person can use this and paste it here, and it will tell you we're closed on Saturdays. Our business hours are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So, kind of like if we get this response, this is like a gist of how we can create a chatbot on customer websites and then start selling them to get monetized benefits. What could happen is that um, the user enters all of this right into this input field. Like this was the question. We provide the question, right, which is already in there. We could feed in more frequently asked questions. Now, I guess every kind of website they have frequently asked questions. I don't know if our website has one, but I think we should include that over here. I think there's one over here. Let's see. No, we definitely should have a facts page. That's good to notice. But if you go in any kind of website, right, facts page, so you'll see, you know, they have frequently asked questions. So, these are just some designs. But, when you could just copy all of these, how can I start therapy with Lynn, right? And all this. What types of therapy does Lynn offer? And then the question, the answer could be all pasted here, and then you can get that. And then what the customer's question is, you can dynamically copy that text or string, and then based off of that, you create a prompt and you give it to OpenAI's GPT model by purchasing an API key. And then whatever the response comes, which is basically this, right, would be returned to your actual chatbot here, maybe maybe here or maybe wherever you want on your website. I think it's a broad answer, but what I could see is that there's a potential here where you can build something, but you need a little bit of money. So I would recommend investing some of it. Open the local Streamlit link, paste the business facts, enter a customer question, click generate for ChatGPT, and then click generate prompt for ChatGPT. And then what happens is that copy the prompt, paste it into GPT, and get instant support answer. Monetizations, let's see, sell a customized chatbot prompt builder to small businesses. What you can do, bundle it with what into a customer service training kit, right? You can do it so, like suppose, when you're trying to hire some employees in your company and they don't know that much about the questions and answers, frequently asked ones, and also they don't know that much. They can have some training through these models, what you can just generate and build, and then you can sell it off to small companies. And branding and host on your domain. It's just a branding technique. Like suppose if I want to add it onto my codecrusher.co website, I can add that. I feel like that's something nice to have, and it's something that companies would want to pay. And then the last project is AI script generator for YouTube Shorts. This one's also pretty easy. I'm going with the free versions because if you want to scale, we can pay through that. But feel free to let me know if you guys want to. Like for instance, um, you know, purchase a plan. I would recommend, maybe sending in some kind of being a Patreon or something, or some put a demand on the YouTube channel, and I'll create a one for that particular need. Now we'll do the same free version approach, except instead of actually generating the script in Python, we'll generate a strong prompt for ChatGPT to create a 30 to 60-second YouTube Shorts script. Now, again, what we do is we create a like a folder over here. Let's say over here, AI agent facts. I'll say AI agent shorts. Now over here I can just open this up. So let's just cross this one out and then open this one up. So what we can do is pip install Streamlit, right? And then once this is done, you have this thing. So what we can do is copy this and pip install Streamlit over here. And then what we have is this code base, right? Short scripts. I don't know why I just added it here. It was already installed, and you can see this is some other project folder. We can just copy this, and then we could create a file which is called shortscriptgenerator.py. So shorts script underscore generator.py, and then paste it here. Oh, you can see over here we have import streamlit st. YouTube Shorts again, same similar layout. There's a Streamlit button, and it's just like a alias. So as gives you an alias of what you can use, and then what you can do is do the same. Um, so this would I'll explain the whole process here when we run the Streamlit application. So what we can do is go here and all right. So let me just go here and show you what it looks like. Okay. And what we can do here is, if I go back here, so you can see um, this is the old one, right? So here we have this one. So let me see. I'll just cross that out. All right. So we'll enter your video topic. Let's see. YouTube Shorts script prompt builder. Fill in the details to generate a powerful prompt for ChatGPT to create your YouTube Shorts script. Oh, okay. It's just gonna create a how AI is changing education or whatever, and then you can just have the tone be, educational or whatever, inspirational, funny, dramatic. You can add more, using this option, select box, and then just add more options here. It's just a, tone, and then it would be a list of strings. And then we also have text input, how AI is changing. This is by default, but you can add more information here. This is just the key name and then the field name and the field value, field name and the field value. Duration is like um, 45-second, like how much you want to do because the short is normally within 60 minutes. So if I had to say 45 minutes, it kind of gets all the values you can see over here. Like write a 45-second YouTube short script about how AI is changing education in an educational tone. And then the script should be punchy, edging, engaging, and end with a strong call to action. So what we can do is copy this, um, and remember, like we had that. One second. We had that thing here. If we paste it here, you can see over here. Forget dusty textbooks. AI is flipping the classroom upside down. With AI tools like ChatGPT, students can get instant answers, personalized study plans, and even real-time feedback 24/7. Teachers aren't being replaced; they're being supercharged using AI to grade faster, tailor lessons, and spot learning gaps before they become problems. And then it's kind of like AI can simulate real-world scenarios like virtual labs or science or interactive language tutors that make learning hands-on, fun, and faster. This classroom is no longer limited by walls or by school hours. And then this is a future of learning, and it's happening now. So you are ready to learn smarter, not harder. Hit follow and let's explore how AI can upgrade your education. So it's basically like a call to action, just hit follow and stuff like that. And I think there's a perfect version optimized for high retention with quick cut transitions and on-screen text cues. This would make it better for you to. Let's see, can you generate the video for this? Let's see. I don't know if it would do that, but export a YouTube Shorts video. But I can give you everything you'd need to create it, including. Oh, okay. So it would give me everything, but uh, it's amazing what it's capable of doing, and these things are getting better and better by every passing day. So monetization options, what you would do is you would sell custom prompt templates for niches like finance, fitness, coaching, coding, whatever. Offer like script writing services using this tool as your backend. And then you can also build a subscription site where people can access your prompt builder 24/7, right? So this is kind of like a prompt builder that you could use for ChatGPT, and it could be a subscription tier, freemium, or then you can provide tiers to sell this service. If you want, I can now combine 4 and 5 into one Streamlit multi-page app so you can show it in a live stream as a mini AI. Okay, 4 and 5 is basically, I think it was, well, yeah, 4, this project 3, and this is, okay, let me go here. Okay, combine 4 and 5. Let's see what we can do. Multi-tool app that includes AI-powered fact build, prompt builder and YouTube Shorts prompt builder. Okay, so what we do is we'll create a multi-power app, and it will create 2 pages. So it just did this, and what we can do is just copy it. It got basically the whole thing, um, and now it's basically gonna have a combination of both. So you can go here and select either you wanna, fact chat bot prompt builder where we had this one, or if you want the YouTube short script prompt builder, and then you can get this one. So kind of really weird. Um, you know, Deploy this app using Streamlit Community Cloud for always free. And you can just like deploy these apps. So let me try to see if I can deploy. And then over here we have rerun, settings, print, about, clear cache. Let me just deploy this. I don't know. This app's code is not connected to a remote GitHub repository. To deploy on Streamlit Community Cloud, please put your code in a GitHub repository and publish the current branch. I'm going to try to put this on right now. So as you're seeing this video, let me go here and let me first of all get config. I don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say git add. Okay, not a git repository, any apparent. Okay, first we're going to have to do init. And also I'm going to have to log into GitHub. So let's go to GitHub um, and create a new, not issue, but a repository. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to call this as, what's it called? Short script generator. Or no, there was actually a whole thing called AI Tool Suite. Um, so AI Tools Suite. So I'm going to rename this to AI Tool Suite. Um, and I'm going to call this as AI Tools Suite. All right. We'll create the repository. It's going to be public. I'm going to make sure we have the initialization. We add all the information. You know, we could generate a README as well. So let me go ahead and say generate me a README for this project as well. Okay, so let's see what it does. And I can just like copy this, copy this, and then, you know, the same stuff going on. So what I can do is add me over here. Okay, so now what we have here is, you know, the README file as well. So let's just add in. Okay, git add, git commit -m. Oh, I'll just call it as first commit, git push. Uh, so remote add name. Okay, so we didn't add anything like here. So git remote, git remote. Git, okay. First, you know, you can sometimes I don't know which branch is in master. You could say git branch -m. Uh, all right, I don't know. It just I think it names the thing to main or something. And then we have this. Um, just copy this. So git git remote add origin, and then git push -u origin, and then this should. Oh, okay. So denied to coding cleverly. I'm in that same thing right now. So I might need to like update my um so how to change GitHub CLI username or account, right? So GitHub accounts that are authenticated on the same GitHub host. Uh, so your current account. So let's see git auth status. Oh, git auth status. All right. Change commit identity name and Git stores your name, email in its config. So change globally for all the repositories. Uh, okay. Check the current settings. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and make sure this username and password. If you have multiple GitHub accounts, WordPress one, you can set different configs per repo using and separate. No, no, no. I want to change it. All right. Change for current repository. Okay. Okay, I got it. Config global. So I say git config hyphen global user dot name. Okay. Um, I'm gonna change it to the old one. All right. And the email will be also changed. So git config hyphen global flag. And then if you do local, it's something else. User dot email, and then we have car 1098. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Um, check the current status. Um, so if I try to like push it now, let's see. Okay, so it says okay. Um, Windows credential manager. Okay, so I'm gonna have to remove the old ones. So window open credentials manager, the Windows credentials manager. All right. So over here we have find git entries and remove them. So we have git entries. Yeah. So we're gonna remove these. How do you remove them? There. All right. And I think that should, if using a credential helper, run. Okay. I think that should help it. Let's see. All right, that works. Now we need a token, and I think I've made a short of this before as well. Um, it's really easy actually. So go here, the settings on the left, um, you'll see actually here in the developer settings, new GitHub account or personal access token and tokens classic, generate new token, whatever that token is. Now it's gonna ask me for a confirm access. I think this is a signed in as verify. Okay, I think I got a access email. Let me see. Let me go ahead and check my inbox. No, it's not there, but I'm gonna go to the different one. All right. Um, all right. So what we're gonna do is I normally like keep it 90 days or whatever. You can keep it custom. You could just say um, custom access token. Okay. Custom access token. Okay, and then you can just check off the repo generate token. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure we paste that here. And once we do that, it pushed everything. And you have it here. All right, cool. Now that we have it linked with GitHub, I think we can deploy this now. GitHub repository. Deploy and stream your code in a GitHub repository and publish the current branch. Ah, publish the current branch. And I've done it. Let's see. Oh man. Made it start thinking randomly. Alright, steps to deploy it. Prepare your project locally. Make sure your project folder has. Okay, then Pi. Requirements, list of dependencies. Uh, run, example requirements.txt. Alright. Alright. Yeah, yeah, we did all of that. Okay, we have to go to this website. Okay. Streamlit Community Cloud. Let's just log in with our GitHub. Authorize Streamlit. Alright, so it's going to ask us for a code. Okay, so now that we have that, we could say access request pending, or whatever that cohort was. Okay, you don't have to create app. Okay, let's see what happens here. Um, Create new app. Um, I see that like repository main. Okay, I think I got one thing. We needed a requirements.txt file. So let me just add that in really quickly here. It's not a big issue actually. So you go here, okay, and you just put in, okay, that's all you got to put in. And I was also thinking of changing this URL to my username, okay, and I think that's basically it. If you go back here, um, yeah, okay, git add, git commit, new commit, git push. All right. So now that's pushed. You'll see that changed here. Cool. Now that we have that, okay, it's in the main branch. Um, it's called AI Tool Suite. It's in the main AI Tool Suite. Let's call this as practice, or let's say demo. I don't know if it's gonna work. Oh wow. There were some advanced settings, but I didn't do that. There were some secrets in Python tools, but your app is in the oven. Man, look how easy things got. Like from the past, it was like super hard to deploy stuff, and things have just gotten so easy. I think software and development in general has become much easier thanks to AI, advanced technology, and everything. It's just so easy now, bro. I remember those days when there was like Stack Overflow, so much you had to study, and when you were stuck on an error, you had to like figure out the problem for so long. Hi. Uh, and here's the live link. So yeah, I mean, I can't believe now how easy software development has gotten. So that's basically it. I think that's pretty much from the side here. If there's any suggestions in this live stream, if you have any, let me know. I was also thinking of if you go here to I'm just adding some bonus parts after this live stream, okay? So it's more of cloud, so Kubernetes related. If you guys want or are interested, stick around because we're done with the GPT thing. So if you want to leave, you guys could leave for that. But if you want to stick around and see more, I'd recommend checking out my other things that I'm going to be talking about right now. So go over here, view channel. Um, and I'm just going to make sure we have this link here somewhere. So I can't add a link right now. It's interesting. The only way I can add a link is later down the road. So um, I'm just gonna have a post here. So I don't know, create post. Uh, New Streamlit app um, live. Uh, Please check it out. Check it out, right? Um, uh, for AI agent for AI for sellable AI agent tutorial. All right, I think we're good with that. Just post that in. All right, so now that we're done with that, let's go ahead and revise some of the concepts that we were learning about Kubernetes. And before that, let me just give me a break coming back. So I would recommend coming back. All right, just one moment, please. All right, guys, welcome back. So what we're going to be doing now is a little bit better, and so it's just the next part of this, and we're going to be talking about some important things that we were discussing earlier, and it's related to Kubernetes. So why am I stressing this topic out is because we're trying to master it. We've been doing this from the beginning, and we just have a recap. So let me just go over
Okay,
the
so we are
recap here.
continuing
So the
from
recap
the
here is
part of
that
the live stream, and we stopped at services. We wanted to begin it, but
we're
let's just
talking
do the
about
recap of what we were saying.
services
So
and
first, what you
all
got?
these kind of things. And if we go here to the Kubernetes section here, there should be one option here. If I go find it, let's see, new chat search Kubernetes kubectl or Kubernetes. All right, it's this one. All right, and then there's also one more, which is this one. All right, guys, let's go ahead and follow this. Okay, so what we had here, let me go and rephrase or recap everything that we've discussed in the past. So let's go all the way to the top. So the first thing was we got our WSL installed on our Windows system, Windows subsystem for Linux, Linux-like environment, and so that's why we had that in our PowerShell. After that, we installed kubectl, Kubernetes CLI, using this thing inside Ubuntu installer. What thing was we installed Minikube, a local Kubernetes cluster, and then installed this, and then we started this talk. And then we started that, installed CDX and Kubans, optional but helpful tools. These are some for switching context namespaces easily. These are some tools. Verify everything is working, and then all of that, um, you know, things or process had to start earlier like that. After that, what we were doing is Okay, so now am I now inside a default cluster within the Docker image using kubectl? So what happened is that are you inside a default Kubernetes cluster using kubectl? Yes, if the command works, kubectl get nodes, which I could turn on using kubectl. Um, if you can see it right now, I could basically go to Ubuntu, right? And we have a command actually here. Because if I do this, I mean, these are all my commands here, but if I say kubectl get nodes, see, it won't work because, it's not connected. So if it gives us something like this confirms your kubectl is connected to the Minikube cluster running on Docker, and you're inside a local Kubernetes environment, ready to use. Can I now start with phase one? Okay, you started with phase one. We understand containers and Docker. What are containers? Inside, think of them as isolated, lightweight mini computers that run just one app. Docker CLI basics where Docker run, Docker PS, Docker exec, and Docker build. Practice in WSL, we ran Docker run -d and then name my nginx, run an nginx container, running C running containers, and then you enter the container, running container, shell inside, stop and remove the container, and then create a simple Docker file. And then, yeah, we created the file like this, and then build your custom image, build -t, and then run your image on local port 8080. Learn Kubernetes core concepts. We created a deployment, create deployment, nginx hyphen image, nginx expose deployment, nginx support, and get all. Minikube service nginx. I think it's called minikube start, so that's the command. So it's called minikube start. So this would give us the environment up and running. Minikube v1.36.0 on Ubuntu 24.04 KVM slash AMD64. And now verifying the Kubernetes components using image GCR. And now we could just say get nodes, kubectl get nodes, and it gives us the Minikube ready on the control plane 35 days ago. And this is the version v1.33. Okay, Minikube dashboard. It opens the Kubernetes dashboard GUI to view deployments pods. Oh, I never knew that. So let me like cross this out. Uh, I'm not sure if it added it, but go here and um, okay, let's say Minikube dashboard. Minikube dashboard. All right, so verifying dashboard health, verifying proxy, verifying proxy health. Taking some time actually. Okay, it's in the link. Oh wow. So workload status, running deployments, pods, two failed, and 75% replica sets. Oh wow, this is impressive actually. All namespace default and dev. There's nothing here. Um, Default. Daemon sets, cron jobs. Cron jobs. There's nothing here. Daemon sets, nothing. Deployments. Hello deploy and nginx deploy. Um, this is amazing actually. I like this. It's really cool. And then we have jobs, pods. There are a couple of pods here. Probe demo. Um, you know, all that. Busybox and all that. Containers. Replica sets. Hello deploy, nginx deploy, replication controller, stateful sets, ingresses, ingress classes, services, hello service. And it has kind of like a gist of everything, and I really like this. So if I do Minikube dashboard, it will give you that. It's cool. It opens the Kubernetes dashboard GUI to view deployments, pod services, free interactive Docker getting started, play with Docker, Katacoda, or whatever this is. Okay. Okay, so Docker, we run a pre-built container, nginx, docker run -d -name, my nginx. This runs an nginx web server in a container named my nginx. -d means detached, runs in background. Okay, view running containers, docker ps shows like the container. Shows info like container ID, image, status, ports, and names. Confirm your container is running. That's what you're gonna do. You can. I don't know if. Let's see. Turn this off. Say Docker. Yeah. So there's a GCR incube, whatever this container is. Like the container ID, image, status, and ports. Enter the command shell. Docker exec hyphen T my nginx bash opens a terminal inside the running container. It opens your lets you explore the container file system or debug and stop and remove the container. Docker stop my nginx and then Docker iron my nginx gracefully stops the container and removes it from the Docker. Create a dashboard. The custom Docker image. You can create a custom Docker file with a basic HTML page. And then this uses the official Nginx image as the base, adds a custom web page to display has CCAD, and then you were able to run your custom image, build a Docker image, and then run the custom and the result was to see it. Um, and then it was able to do all of this stuff, right? Port 80 inside the container is mapped to 8080 on your machine. Shows all running containers. Docker exec hyphen it my app bash lets you enter an interactive shell. The Docker file customizes the default Nginx homepage spot on. Stops and deletes, removes the container from Docker. Okay. So there's this goal that we had, what was pod, deployment, service, namespace, config, map, and secret. These are some of the Kubernetes core concepts. And we'll go at we'll learn, practice, and what is a pod? A pod is basically the smallest unit of Kubernetes. It wraps one or more containers with shared storage, network, and a spec for how to run them. I remember we were discussing all about this earlier. Wraps one or more containers. So you don't manage containers directly in Kubernetes. You manage pods, right? So it's command to try run this in your Kubernetes terminal. Uh, Let me write this down. All right. Then you have kubectl run mypod hyphen hyphen image equal to nginx hyphen hyphen restart equal to never create a single pod running nginx. Um, After that we have check the pod. What is this, man? What is this, bro? Okay. Check the pod. Kubectl get pods. Get more details. Kubectl describe. Get more details. Describe my pod. Enter the container inside the pod and delete the pod. Okay. Create a single pod running nginx. My pod hyphen hyphen image nginx. Check the pod. Get pods. Get more details. Describe get pod my pod. Enter the container inside the pod. My pod. Delete the pod. Okay, that's so simple. You'll need this for CCAD. Here's the equivalent YAML definition for the pod. So save as pod.yaml. So we API version v1 kind pod metadata name my pod spec containers name nginx image nginx apply it apply have an app file pod.yaml mini quiz. What does a pod usually contain? It contains containers, one or more containers. Which command creates a pool named test pod? Which command creates a pod named test pod using the nginx image? Kubectl create pod nginx. I think it's kubectl run test pod. Nginx hyphen over restart equal to number. What does the hyphen hyphen restart flag do in kubectl run? Runs it as a one-time pod, not as a deployment. Okay. How do you enter a shell inside a running pod named my pod? Exit. So kubectl exit hyphen hyphen t my pod. Hyphen bash. All were okay. Well, B was yeah, that was cool. A deployment in Kubernetes manages basically pods at scale. Ensures the right number of pod replicas are running. Yeah. Um, and then old versions are replaced with new ones. Rolling updates. Yeah. So kind of like what we were talking about is a deployment in Kubernetes manages pods at scale. Like ensures the right number of pod replicas are running. Old versions are replicated, replaced with new ones. Rolling updates and failed pods are automatically restarted. I think you understand this, right? What a deployment is. It's kind of like a manager where it manages pods at scale. Uh, right number of pod replicas are running. Uh, old versions are replaced with new ones. Rolling updates. Uh, failed pods are automatically restarted. In the real world, you rarely use plain pods. You almost always use deployments. Okay. Try it out. Create a deployment. Create deployment web app. Hyphen images. Go to Nginx. Create. Check what happened. Kubectl get deployments. Get pods. Kubectl describe deployment web app. I think it does create an image or one pod it creates, and that pod will have a container which is an Nginx, right? So just scale a pod deployment. You could have a Kubectl scale deployment web app, and then it contains three replica sets, meaning three different get pods. It would add three more pods now, or basically it would be three. Kubectl set image deployment web app Nginx to 1.25. Update the image inside those containers, right? And then delete the deployment would delete all those things that were connected with it. So the YAML definition for this would be a deployment IAM API version apps slash v1 kind of deployment metadata name is web app. Spec replicas is two selector match labels app web app template metadata labels app web app spec containers name Nginx image Nginx. So basically, it could take two of them. Kubectl apply have deployment IAM. Okay, mini quiz. What is the main purpose of a deployment in Kubernetes? Manage and maintain pods reliably. I think so that how do you scale a deployment named myapp to five replicas? You would just say kubectl scale deployment myapp and then hyphen replicas to five. I think so that one. And then which command updates the container image for a deployment? It would say kubectl up set image deployment and then my app and then you would say Nginx to 2.5. And then what happens when you delete a deployment? It deletes the deployment and the pods it manages, right? B and C. Okay, well, 2B. Yeah. Services. What is a service? About pods again. What a deployment was a manager controller that creates or maintains pods. And then it manages pods at scale. Now, service exposes your pods to other parts of the cluster or external networks. Um, a service exposes your pods to other parts of the cluster or external networks. It provides a stable IP and a DNS name to access pods, which are ephemeral, and I think those are meaning temporary. Types cluster IP default internal only. Then we have node port exposed on each node's port. Load balancer, cloud load balancer for available. Hands-on with switches, on with services. That's a service. Parts of other parts of the cluster or okay. Kubectl create deployment nginx hyphen deploy hyphen images go to nginx. Create a deployment if you don't have one. I think this is the name of the image. And I mean this is the name of the what's it called deployment, and the image that it contains within the pod is an nginx image. Okay, and that is in the container within the pod within the deployment. All right. Expose it via node port service. So kubectl expose deployment nginx deploy hyphen type node port. I think that was this one expose on each node's port. And then hyphen port equal to 80. Check the service and get node port. Kubectl get services. Check the service. Okay. look for the ports column, something like this. Uh, Okay, access the service. If you're running Minikube service Nginx deploy, it will open the Nginx homepage in your browser. Now the service YAML definition would be API version v1, kind equal to service, metadata. Name of it would be Nginx service. Spec would be a selector. App Nginx, ports protocol TCP, port 80, target port 80, type node port. Again, it makes really simple sense. It's a service definition, service.yaml, and then you just kubectl apply -f file, which is this service definition. Um, res resource definition, whatever you say. Miniquiz is services. What does a Kubernetes service do? It exposes pods reliably inside or outside the cluster. Okay. Which service type exposes a service on a port on all nodes? I think it node port. What does the selector field in a service YAML do? Sets the service port. What is the default service type if none is specified? Cluster IP. C, B, B. All right. Answer is A. The selector links the service to matching pods using their labels. What is it? What does the selector field in a service YAML do? Chooses which pods the service routes traffic to. Okay. Okay. Mm. This routes traffic from the service to pods labeled with app equal to Nginx. So correct answer chooses which pods the service routes traffic to. All right. So it gave me like after applying commands or YAML files. All right. So kubectl get all. You can verify using kubectl get all and then open minikube service hello service. Namespaces are things. I just want to give one moment, please. All right. So I'm gonna make sure. Give me a moment, please, before I. So I'm gonna give up. BRB. I'm not even sure if people are even watching, but if you are, throw them in the chats, man. Let me see if you guys are watching. Um, okay. So let's go back. Um, yep. So we stopped here where, um, we had these random stuff. Okay, namespaces, right? Kind of like what you call a way to organize resources in a cluster. Now, namespaces allow you to isolate resources in a Kubernetes cluster. Think of them in like folders or for organizing workloads. By default, all your stuff goes to the default namespace. Namespaces are used for like multi-team or multi-project environments, RBAC and security, and avoiding name conflicts. Now you can create a man. Yeah, just one moment, please. All right, so we're back. Let me add my camera. Um, okay. So what we do is namespaces again. It was just like create a create default dev. We're gonna create namespace dev, and then create a pod inside the dev namespace. You can just say kubectl run test pod, and then image is going to nginx. So and then hyphen restart equal to never, and then hyphen n dev, and then check pods in all namespaces. You can get pods hyphen all hyphen namespaces and delete the namespace and everything in it. So kubectl delete namespace dev. Now namespace YAML API version v1 kind namespace metadata name is equal to dev. right? Apply it. So kubectl apply have namespace.yaml. Another way, then in other YAML files, add metadata namespace dev. Now over here we have what is the purpose of a Kubernetes namespace? Isolate resources like pods and services. Okay. What namespaces are most resources created in by default? I think they're created in the default. Okay. And what command list pods in all namespaces? Okay. Gotta get pods. I have all hyphen namespace. And then CBC. Okay. Okay. Now config maps and secrets. Now these are some CCAD exam favorites. You'll definitely be asked to create or mount into onto on one into a pod. So what is config map? A public instructions sheet, whereas a secret is kind of like a stores sensitive info passwords, like tokens, keys. Um, now, tool that creates small local Kubernetes clusters. Uh, Now, config map kind of stores non-sensitive config values. So let's go ahead and quickly do this. Stores non-sensitive config values, whereas this one stores sensitive data like tokens. And they're encoded? No, for the config map. And for the secret, yes, they're base 64 encoded. Now, use cases are like environment vars, command arguments, like files, or for the config map. For the secret, we have API keys, DB credentials. Now, hands-on with config maps. Create a config map. Kubectl create config map app config from little environment dev. So this is creates a okay, and then you can view it. Config maps. Kubectl describe config map app config. Um, okay. Um, Hands-on with secrets. Create a secret 64 encoded handle automatically. Secret generic. DB creds. Okay. Okay. This is the YAML definition. Metadata secret demo. Okay. It's. I see that there's a container here. Oh, there's a container here too. All right. Value from. Okay. Yeah, I see value from. So name, environment, DB user, value from, secret key ref, name DB creds, key username, name DB pass, DB creds, password, key name, key, and password. Hmm. All right. Okay. What is a config map used for? Storing non-sensitive config like environment vars. What is a secret used for? Storing sensitive data like passwords. Which of these references a value from a config map? Which of these references a value? Okay, from a config map in YAML. Value from dot environment ref. Value from the config map key ref. How does Kubernetes store secret values? Encode base 64 encoded. Um, all right, so we have intermediate exam focus, application design and state management, probes, liveness and readiness, volumes, empty dir, host path, jobs and cron jobs, multi-container pods, list and sidecar resource limits and created resources, taints and tolerances, generate ammo. All right, so we basically started with load, probes, volumes, jobs, all of this stuff, remember? So go ahead and get probe started, right? Right. So APM idea. Okay. So probes, liveness, readiness, jobs. Are probes are like automated health checks that Kubernetes performs on your containers inside pods. But YAML files, not YAML files themselves, but sections defined inside your pod or deployment YAML. All right. Likely ask you to ask you up. give a pod that fails to stay healthy. Will likely give you a pod that fails to stay healthy or isn't receiving traffic and expect you to fix or define probes. So what is liveness versus readiness? So liveness is like checks if the app is alive, restart if not, self-healing. Whereas the readiness probe is like checks if the app is ready to serve traffic, load balancing, and rollout control. Um, uh, so if the readiness, if it fails, right, if Kubernetes removes the pod from the service endpoint list, no traffic goes to it. Useful when the app takes time to start up or is temporarily busy. And the liveness probe is kind of like checks if the container is still alive or stuck crashed. If it fails, Kubernetes restarts the container. Now, example liveness probe exec. So we have liveness probe exec command cat temp healthy initial delay 5 period seconds. To check this checks if the file temp healthy, this one exists. If it doesn't, the container is restarted, right? Delay seconds, period seconds. Okay. Example readiness probe. Health Z hits health Z inside the container. If it fails, uh, non 200 traffic won't be routed to the pod. So right, they're like automated health checks. YAML with both probes. So we have a probe hyphen pod. You have a pod metadata name probe demos containers touch temp healthy. All right. It created a file which is this liveness. Oh yeah, temp healthy command cat. Readiness probe is over here. That's liveness probe, and now you have a readiness probe. Initial delay seconds and period seconds. Well, I have an IT probe demo. Okay, this is gonna remove the file, and it's gonna like maybe restart the pod. If like that one is gone, then it's gonna automated health check is gonna restart eventually. The pod will restart due to the payload liveness. Um, what does the liveness probe do? Deletes the pod. Um, restart the pod if it's unresponsive. All right. Um, what happens if a readiness probe fails? Pod is removed from the services endpoint list. Which field defines a probe that runs a shell command? How often does a probe check by default if period seconds is not defined? I think it checks 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Sorry. Um, exec is used to define command-based probes. Hmm. Used to be get exec TCP socket. Um, command-based probes. Okay, there's uh, volume temperature. And Kubernetes help persist data across container restarts or share data between containers in the same pod. Across containers restarts or share data between containers in the same pod. Volumes help persist data across container restarts or share data between containers in the same pod. Emptied or ephemeral storage created when the pod starts, deleted when the pod is removed. Use case share data between multiple containers within the same pod. Host path mounts a file folder from the node's local file system. Use case write logs or temp files to a known location on the node. Not portable. Um, use in real world apps and CCAT exams and volumes help process data across container restarts or share data between containers in the same pod. Um, okay, volumes do that. Empty dir it is ephemeral storage created when the pod starts, deleted when the pod is removed. Use case share data between multiple containers. All right. Volumes share data. Empty dir is empty. Empty share data. Um, volume amounts name share data amount path user data. All right. So mouse path. What is it? Mounts a file a folder from the node's local file system. Use case write logs or temp files to known location on the node, not portable. Uh, mount volume mounts share data. Host path. What is it? Mounts a file folder from the node's local file system. Use case write logs or okay, that's host path, and this is volumes name share data empty dir. Mm. Writes logs or temp files to a known location on the node, not portable. Okay. Okay. It's a host path. It's a empty directory, or it's a volume. These are volumes. Hands-on task. The prod using empty directory. Pod empty dir. Shared volume pod. Hmm. Okay, volume mounts, share data. Okay, so what it says here is um, what is the volumes? What is the main purpose of empty directory? It basically file sharing between containers in a pod. What is an empty directory volume? Delete. When is an empty directory? It's deleted when the pod stops. Okay. What risk comes with host pad volumes? Well, they're not portable. Pod portability issues. In the hands-on in the hands-on experience, which container writes the file? Oh yeah, which container writes the file? So it was a pod empty directory thing, right? There was two pods actually. Uh, the writer and then the reader would read it. Hmm. Okay, multi-container pods. I want to know what this is still. Multi-container pods. Very testable. Also appear frequently in microservices and production environments. Sidecars run alongside the main container. Used for logging, monitoring proxies. Share the same network plus volumes as the main container. And what is init container? Run before the main container starts. Used to set up preconditions like data, config, secrets. Run in order, one after the other. So init containers are basically what are multi-container pods, sidecars, and init containers? They are very testable and are also appear frequently in microservices and production environments. Init containers run before the main container starts, used to set up preconditions like config, data, secrets, run in order from one after the other. So init containers name init, my service, busybox, uh, sidecar containers run alongside sidecar run alongside the main container using for logging monitoring proxies, share the same network plus volumes as the main container, hands-on multi-container pod. So we have multi-container YAML version of pod. Um, um, metadata, multi-demo, spec volumes, share data. Okay, empty directory, init containers, init container, share data, containers, volume, sidecar. Alongside the main. So first one is what is the key difference between init and sidecar containers? Init containers are always no. Init container init runs to completion before app starts. Can run first. Uh, Init runs to completion before app starts. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Can an init container write data to a volume for the main container to use? Can an init container write data? Uh, okay, to a volume for the main container to use. I think yes, with empty directory. Okay. What's a good use case for a sidecar containers? Um, Streaming logs to external system. How many init containers can a pod have? One. Or I think unlimited. Let's see. A pod can have multiple init containers run. They run in a sequence, one at a time. Uh, so the first one was C, and it runs to completion before app start. B, yes, with empty directory. D, yeah, and then what is the value use case of config map? Providing TLS certificates. What is the following statement about secrets is true? They are base64 encoded, non-encrypted. How do you inject a specific key from a config map as an environment variable in a prod? From value from doc secret key ref or config from value from C. If a secret if a secret is mounted as a volume, what is the file content inside the pod? If a secret is mounted as a volume, what is the file content inside the pod? From index value. What is the valid use case for a config map? Injecting environment variables like app. Okay. Uh, as a volume. Actually, if it's mounted as a volume, what is the file content inside? I did create them before. It's making me do that again. So yeah, that's basically the summarization of this. Hope you guys got a nice overview. We're gonna be continuing on this journey of kubectl. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So based off of let's see, what is in this probes? Okay, okay. Uh, Whatever is left to master in this section, teach me so that I can pass the secret 100% chance. All right. And then they did all of this. So probes and jobs and cron jobs. Now this is the something we've got to do. They just did a refresher of this, and then we're doing this. Configuration and observability is the next one, and then we have this before we have dive deeper into problems in Java, or start with the resource limits so jobs and cron jobs are the next thing. All right. So we know the probes, like we were talking about. So application design and state management, probes, liveness, and readiness. You nailed this earlier, but quick recap plus exam tips. So liveness probe restarts if a pod it restarts if a pod restarts a pod if it's unhealthy, right? Um, and then readiness probe controls traffic routing. Pod is removed from the service endpoint if it fails. Common types exit runs command inside returns success fail. HTTP get makes HTTP call expects 2xx/3xx. And then TCP socket checks TCP port open. Probes must be turned initial delay seconds, period seconds to avoid false positives. Um, Volumes, empty directory and host path. Empty directory, ephemeral storage, created, shared inside a pod between containers, deleted when the pod dies. And the host path mounts a directory or file from the node, risky for portability. Jobs and cron jobs. Now, we have jobs and cron jobs. Jobs and cron jobs. So jobs run a pod to completion batch jobs, and cron job schedules jobs on a time-based schedule like cron on Linux. Okay, jobs. What job runs a pod to completion? Runs a pod to completion. Batch jobs, and then we have cron job. Schedules a job on a schedules jobs on a time-based schedule like cron on Linux. Okay, creates a job prod, runs a pod to completion batch jobs. And the other one is schedules jobs on a time-based schedule. Hmm. So API version batch v1 kind of job. Okay. Metadata. Pi calculation. Hmm. Perl. Yeah. Cron job. Batch v1 cron job. Metadata. Hello. Spec. Schedule. Okay, we have a schedule here. We don't have it there. Spec template. Spec containers. Multi-container pods. Init and sidecars. Init containers runs sequentially before app containers. Um, Setup tasks. Sidecars run alongside app container. Common for logging proxies. Share some network namespace. Share same network namespace and volumes. Request requests resource limits and request limits maximum allowed CPU memory usage. Request minimum guaranteed CPU memory for scheduling. Resource limits and request. All right, so we're done with that. I think we are good. We got more stuff, honestly, but I think we could do that on the next stream. So thanks for watching and staying tuned to this stream. I think we're good with this. Yeah, stop recording.